It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. Sitting here tonight, they're showing the NASA people, they showed the NASA administrator tonight on one of the programs. I caught the eyewitness news on Channel 7 mention of the story, and then Channel 2 mention of the story. I got both Nora O'Donnell's version and eyewitness news of exactly how the humans are describing at the 90% are describe of ABO, describing the use and what they use it for at like NASA, like James Webb telescope kind of a thing. Again, when they built the Earth in a 26-letter alphabet, they built it with 4 A's in mind. Eric, Australia, Africa, and Asia. Antarctica is in there as well. I guess that would round out the 5 A's. Then they have the North Pole, and they have the Europe. There is 10% blood differential, where the other 90% could kill the 10% by practicing xenophilia. So that's where xenophobe comes from. I don't want animal gizzards to be transferred into my person. It would kill me immediately. These are verifiable facts at human level within the medical community. In fact, tonight I saw that they tried a xenophilia, like a xenotransplant of an animal into an Rh positive person in one of the ABO groups, blood types. I don't know. Again, I'm not interested in this level of work or medical advice or advancement in organ transplants. The study of histology being the study of tissues, since it sounds like history, which gets to be very different. But going back to this James Webb telescope, they had Hubble. Now they've, the Moonies or the whatever, put up into orbit some competing picturesque whatever. I mean, again, these images mean nothing to 90% of the population unless you're a nuclear physicist, and then you're concerned at galaxy level and at 10% blood population. There's a reason, interestingly enough, the ears are Roosevelt, the R, the nose is Hamilton, but it's a small h on RH with the negative. It's also an A negative because I'm not part of the 90%. But there is a state that was supposed to protect me at some level, which I don't know how to get to with the world evolving this way. Now, they do say that in, nuclear radiology, the spiritual realm is in deep outer space. Sometimes things happen in the spiritual realm to represent something that's happening in the real physical realm of where the humans exist on Earth with the ear things. So now, again, alien technology is being used to acknowledge these two different, like a cool or a hot version of some spiritual whatever. The colors are really fantastic. It's a really interesting, imaginable space of what it could possibly mean when it comes on the evening news. but it represents an even deeper issue that thoroughly concerns me. I don't know why the Soviet Union broke up. I saw tonight they're acknowledging at Jericho, which in the Bible has some significance with the ancients and ancestors, some girl who speaks fluent Russian. Her, at the break of the Soviet Union, her father, who's from Georgia, they said, brought her here. She was able to speak fluent Russian and English. So now she's standing in front of this Jericho High School in Nassau County as some representative, ambassadors, what they say. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, in Ukraine, I heard that they're stealing washing machines and toilets for running water issues. I find that really interesting. So now I'm like, and then I'm thinking to myself, there is a very other Keanu Reeves from like this Warner Brothers magical realm. There is this Warner Brothers studio and this John Wick that came out with this movie series about how the Russian mob is, like, he's working for the Russian mob, like really super serious bad guy in the White Hood in New York City. And I'm like, capitalize on what could that mean in my terms, since I know for a fact by looking at Keanu Reeves, he's in the 90% of the blood type on this planet that makes it ticks, makes the world tick. It's a tenant in common area. So here we are.
Maybe the most extraordinary story of the day. New pictures from outer space. Incredible and crystal clear pictures from the NASA Webb telescope, 1,000,000 miles away and several billion light years ago. Deep into the cosmos, more than anyone has ever seen before.
And how far has our technology advanced? Take a look. This is from Webb, and the other one is from the Hubble telescope in 2009, just 13 years ago. It's like the
Okay, I'm going to stop him from speaking for a moment because this says Webb 2022 and what it looked like. I don't even know what part of the galaxy that is from this evening news portrayal of it. Then they have Hubble. And this looks radiological. That looks nuclear. I mean, did it go from a cool universe into a hot scene because of all of this digital advancement and broadband and radio and stereo? I mean, I don't have coordinates on any of this stuff. They're not triangulating any of it. And I don't even have a proper vernacular with the little communication that they give me here, even having Roosevelt, Hamilton importance between the domicile of Democratic and Republican with Thomas Jefferson and my American foster family and Federalist at Hamilton.
The difference between high-tech Wi-Fi and AOL dial-up.
Now, these photos are giving us a glimpse of what was happening in the universe.
He even says it. The difference between Wi-Fi and dial-up.
Millions of years ago, full of cosmic beauty. The photos show a giant gaseous planet outside of our solar system, images of dying stars, and a cluster of thousands of galaxies just dancing around each other.
We might be seeing some of the very first stars and galaxies to form in this image. We need to download the data and start doing the precise measurements and figure it out. And that's what we're all eager to do.
Yes, this discovery is marvelous, but it's just the beginning, as we're being told. This Webb telescope will help scientists study the earliest galaxies, how our solar system formed, and if there is some sort of life on other planets as well.
Will it tell us if they've bent space and time and put so many wormholes in to form Rosen bridges that now it's inside out and upside down and it's become a really dangerous thing to acknowledge? Will they acknowledge that part? I'm just curious. And I've seen a lot of movie references. This is July 12th, 2022, and this is Nora O'Donnell on Channel 5. Different message by sounds.
Incredible images from space thanks to NASA's James Webb Space Telescope. CBS's Mark Strassman takes a closer look at deep space.
This is the vast Carina Nebula, 7,600 light years from Earth within our own galaxy, birthing stars and planets. Here, stellar death. A gas cloud envelops a fading star. This image, Stephan's quintet, shows 5 galaxies 290 million light years away. Baby pictures of the universe, majestic and humbling, from a time machine now staggering NASA scientists.
They're fantastic, absolutely beautiful, and they're a real hint at the power that the observatory will have.
Now, here's the thing. If it's just for ophthalmology and like THAs, I think is what they call themselves, or OTAs, I don't know, whatever. So for the ophthalmologists, which is the eye doctor, if it's a retinal scan and how the brain is picking up light entering through the optic nerve, just on the off chance if that's what that was, and it goes from a healthy quantity of light to this like radiological, like really damaging the retina, damaged by like radiological process in like some nuclear attack, but from some perhaps part of the solar system we've entered into. Just curious, at what point does, I mean, like, it could be anything if it's labeled properly. It could be a depiction of what would it look like, since I don't have the technology or the doctor to ask at the level for which my questions are. If it's theoretically possible, is that possibly what it could look like as a retinal scan to the back of the eye, the part that looks like a movie theater screen that then feeds to the optic nerve, which whatever to the brain. Here's how they explain it, though.
And liftoff. Launched last Christmas, the Webb Space Telescope's an engineering marvel, unfolding 1 million miles from Earth.
I feel like it's like a sales pitch. Like they're just selling it to the public. Like, we're not up, I mean, we're up to the good stuff. We're the good guys. Like, don't mind us in like Billionaire Club. Like,
gold-plated segments form a giant mirror. It's protected against solar radiation by a sun shield the size of a tennis court, producing ageless clarity. Compare the Hubble telescope's photo of thousands of galaxies with the Webb's infrared technology.
now, I'm just curious, are those state dollars, federal dollars, are those private dollars? I mean, is that renewable energy source? Like, what does fund the fact that you already had a workable telescope that was doing a good job, and now all of a sudden you need a replacement? Like, it just seems like a waste of resources and funds.
So much detail pops into view, and will for the next 20 years.
It's almost a spiritual experience because you realize that there was a beginning, and we have come from that beginning.
And in this cosmic slideshow, the best is yet to come. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Atlanta.
All right, so now I'm going to go to like real world news or real news in the local area at this Jericho High School, which is located in Nassau County, which has a county executive of Bruce Blakeman. So here's how this one looks.
The young woman, I should say, surrounded by Marines today from the Toys for Tots programs and getting ready for herself to fly to Eastern Europe this week to help those young refugees.
The student's own family knows all too well what it's like to be refugees. Here's Stacey Sager.
Our hearts especially break for all the children who must now grow up in a world filled with violence and chaos.
So let's just get this straight. Her father, when the Soviet Union broke up, came to the United States of America in the U.S. part of, I guess U.S. went this way and S.R. went that way. I don't know. It gets a little confusing. But she was allowed to grow up and speak Russian. Why was I withheld from such same sacred linguistical allowance? Or German, for that matter. I mean, like, French and Italian. But why did the language have to stop? Why couldn't I have a Greek base, like my grandfather?
Sounding nothing like a 17-year-old and everything like an ambassador, this senior-to-be from Jericho High School describing why she feels compelled to help the children of Ukraine, to help them with toys.
So I want to spread some of that joy to other kids, make them feel like normal children just for once in their lives.
Normal when their world has been upside down for months.
As of today, 348 children been killed in Ukraine and over 650 wounded.
The children that are in refugee camps, the children that are orphans.
And so, in conjunction with Nassau County, the U.S. Marines, and Toys for Tots, whose chairman is a retired U.S. Marine, Jessica Vartanov is about to go on a humanitarian mission to the border of Ukraine and Poland.
You know, we always say a new unwrapped toy is a symbol of hope, and these people in the Ukraine need hope.
Jessica's dad emigrated from Georgia in the former Soviet Union, and so did her mom's parents. And now Jessica says she's
Again, get real back to basics. I checked my social studies manual of the passport program. Georgia was not on the list of the Big Five of allowable immigrations to North America within the time frame that this all took place. I mean, again, stealing toilets and washing machines does say a lot in certain community.
sees this as part of her duty to help.
And that's not all. Jessica also tells us that she's launched another endeavor, teaching Ukrainian children who come here how to speak English. So far, she's helped about 50 of them.
I'm fluent in Russian, which is very similar to Ukrainian.
Why are we not surprised? She says the best part is the kids often just need a listener who understands them. Jessica's mom viewing the next couple of weeks as yet another way for her daughter to step out of her Long Island comfort zone.
But I think she will see certain things that she's never seen in her lifetime living on Long Island. But it'll be good for her.
She leaves on Sunday with her two granddads and high hopes for the children.
Soon they will have some happiness. There's light in the darkness.
17 and well beyond her years. In Mineola, I'm Stacey Sager, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
There is light in the darkness.
Yeah. Let's go to the big movie screen, shall we, for a minute? And let's just check to see, like, how they're investing and promoting, since this John Wick character, Keanu Reeves, also is in another very famous movie series called Matrix, which had a very big following. Since I currently am experiencing as an ABO RH negative inside of the United States in the North America, several problems, one of which the dots, the connection, and the bending of space and time around my person in ways that have not furthered my journey in a better light or manner, or get me to a part in topiary labyrinth or maze that I belong. In fact, it's actually been bent in the opposite way to further entrap me here without access to the level of physical contact that I need. Now, in 2014, they came out with, or they put on this programming in New York area, this new series called John Wick. Now, that's 2014. That's the year that the humans go by in the 90% and the 100% of ABO. So now it says New York City becomes the bullet-riddled playground of a former assassin, Keanu Reeves, as he hunts down the Russian mobsters who destroyed everything he held dear. Coming off the heels of The Matrix, and when that was put out into the universe of New York after whatever happened,
Nice ride.
Thanks.
How much for the car?
She's not for sale.
Daisy.
Jonathan, you got out once.
It's personal. It's not what you did, son. It's who you did it to.
The nobody?
That nobody is John Wick.
I have a Dear Eric letter in my American foster family. Is this the portion of Dear John where you're supposed to write them a letter?
So I killed 3 men with a pencil.
Hey, John. I thought I let myself in.
People keep asking if I'm back. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
I'm not afraid of John Wick.
You should be.
You, working again? No, just sorting some stuff out.
That was the first movie in the series. There's been 3. Now, John Wick number 2, chapter 2, came out in 2017. It says legendary hitman John Wick comes out of retirement when a former associate plots to seize control of an international assassins guild. Bound by a blood oath to help him, Wick travels to Rome to square off against the world's deadliest killers. And again, that's 2017, so it's in the 20th century.
Welcome to Rome. Is this a formal event or a social affair?
Social.
How many buttons?
2.
And what style?
Tactical.
Mr. Wick,
Do enjoy your party. How good to see you again so soon.
You have no idea what's coming.
You want a war? just give me a gun. Whoever comes, I'll kill them all.
The man, the myth, the legend. John Wick. You're not very good at retiring.
I'm working on it.
Now, I didn't see any of the John Wick series. It cost money. It wasn't even in my purview. It only just came to my visual cortex the other day, and then I realized that I had heard about it, but I didn't know what it was about. I just knew Keanu Reeves was in a movie series. But really, the Warner Brothers in the Wizarding World and that mention, or that almost like character cast representative that they chose, being Keanu Reeves. Because again, I saw in the beginning Pacific Break, the one with the Patrick Swayze in it. Again, 90s reference, classic. But it says John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. It's 2019. 2019. It says, stripped of the high table's protective services, legendary hitman John Wick must fight his way through the streets of New York as the world's most ruthless killers try to collect the 14 million bounty on his head. I find this very interesting, as both Roosevelt and Hamilton, and knowing what I need in certain area, whatever, and knowing what the state of New York at the moment, as I've been collecting evidence, looks like, not only in Albany, but also in mayoral territory.
You have no idea what's coming.
Mr. Wick broke the rules. I trust you understand the repercussions if he survives. John Wick, excommunicado, is now in effect. You shouldn't be here. Nice suit.
Good to see you too. I need your help.
After this, we are less than even.
There's no escape for you. The high table wants your life.
Would you help set the mood for our new guest?
Let us begin. Our service is still off limits to me.
What do you need?
Guns. Lots of guns.
You think you can take John Wick? You got a nasty surprise coming.
We can keep this up as long as you'd like. But this only ends one way.
All of this for what? Because of a puppy?
Wasn't just a puppy.
Zone. I lowered my
At Antebellum, Requiem, and Parabellum, it wasn't just a puppy. It was far more significant. And if that puppy gets in trouble, who does she rely on? It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza, it's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.